Thank you so much for coming, everyone. We are so happy that you're here. We are thrilled to be cutting the ribbon today on Startup, Harrisburg's first co-working space. My name is Adam Porter. I'm one of the co-founders along with my partner, Adam Brackbill. We are so thrilled to have you here on this exciting, long-awaited day. A little bit about us. Startup began, as a lot of ideas do, on a bar napkin, actually, just downtown. It comes from the idea that we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could by ourselves. If you find yourself in a place where you need some more professional fulfillment, let's say, and you are looking to strike out on your own, that's where we come in. As Harrisburg's first co-working space, our goal is to connect freelancers, entrepreneurs, and organizations to shared resources and networks. The spirit of collaboration that has gotten us to this point will now enable us to help even more businesses achieve their goals over the coming years. We are so thrilled to be part of this project, which is a gateway to our neighborhood. We live here, we work here, we love this place. This move represents for us what Harrisburg is primed for: creativity and innovation. If you're part of the rapidly expanding freelance workforce, or someone looking to strike out on your own, you have that next big idea, we're here to help. This space, Startup, is so much more than beautiful meeting spaces and endless coffee and fast internet. It's a place where that crazy idea keeping you up at night isn't so crazy. It's a place where, through a lot of hard work, trust me, a lot can be possible. It's a place like this where, if you're the type to work 80 hours a week because you can't stand the idea of working 40, you'll fit right in. We are so thrilled to be here, and want to extend a massive, huge thank you to our members, the members of our community who keep us going, the reason we're here, for being so flexible over these past many months as this project has evolved and grown, and for really their belief in us, our idea, and this city. I have the pleasure of introducing Mayor Papenfuse to say a few words as well.
Thank you, Adam. Good to see you.
Thanks, you too.
Congratulations to both of you. This is a wonderful day. We are here celebrating two of my favorite things, both the spirit of entrepreneurship, which really defines the economic engine of our city, and the wonderful effects of artistic expression and how they can redefine our streetscape in ways that open our minds and our hearts at the same time. So it's just very fitting and exciting to be here today. I think it's also important to note that as we have this very press conference behind us, 3 more buildings, dilapidated, abandoned buildings are being transformed to add, yet one more step to the transformation of the streetscape along here in the heart of Midtown Harrisburg. A few words about Startup. Since they burst on the scene just a few years ago, they have provided an absolute necessity in this community of co-working space that has helped serve as both a catalyst and an incubator for small businesses. And I want to acknowledge a few of the small businesses that I met with as I was coming here today. We have Tyrell Spradley, the owner of E.Y. Johnson & Company. Tyrell operates a tax business right out of Startup. He says the most exciting thing about the new space compared to the old space is the ability to have a community room, to do educational PowerPoints, and to meet with clients in a much nicer setting than the older space allowed. We also have Tanya Lovelace here of the Women of Color Network, whose goal is to reduce domestic and sexual violence while highlighting and centralizing that problem as it exists in communities of color here in Harrisburg. She is particularly excited, has also transferred down the street, as it will, to be able to expand and do more community-centered programming. So not only do you have a wonderful community room, but there will be everything from poetry readings to community engagement sessions. And for both of those businesses, and for really all of the businesses, they are now truly rooted in Harrisburg's community. And that's what Startup is about, and that's what this expansion really represents. And to our friends at Sprocket and to Crystal, the artist of the beautiful mural behind us, I want to say a few words. All the work that Sprocket has done around Harrisburg to take previously blank canvases, neglected spaces, and transform them into beautiful works of art has literally changed the way we look at the city, changed the way we think about walls and buildings and structures, and really elevated all of us in how we think about Harrisburg. I believe, in speaking to the artist Crystal here before the event, she is most proud of the way the mural has literally encouraged people to look anew at Harrisburg. And that is the power, the transformative power of art, the transformative power of Sprocket, and we see it on display today. So as we christen the mural and we cut the ribbon on startup, we are really here honoring a spirit which is taking Harrisburg all the way to the next level, one which is making this city fundamentally founded in entrepreneurship, artistic expression, and community building. And it's a great honor to be able to take part in the ceremony today. I will hand things back to you, sir.
Thank
Adam.
you.
Thank you.
I'd now like to introduce Jeff Kopis. Thank you, Mayor. I'd now like to introduce Jeff Kopis from Sprocket Mural Works to say a few words about this lovely work behind us. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Adam, and thanks, Mayor Papenfuse, for the kind words. Sprocket Mural Works was formed in 2014 to add art around the city to inspire and engage our citizens. We truly think that art does cause us to look at the city differently and to think about what is possible, not what we have. We have a great city, and together, if we each add our little part, we can make it that much better. That's why I'm glad this mural's here on the side of Startup as they talk about collaboration and working with each other and working with the community and working with the city. I think art allows us to do that in many different ways. Be remiss if I didn't thank a few people. You're gonna have to hear me rattle off a list that actually made this mural possible. Murals are so much more than just putting art on a wall. When done correctly, they engage the community and they allow us to talk about our hopes, our dreams, what we want the city to be, what we want our neighborhood to be, and the part that we want to have in that. I'd like to thank WCI Partners for this kind wall here. It's a great entranceway into Midtown and all the redevelopment that's happening here. Throughout the project, Little Lamps and Craven Co. fed our artists and kept them sustained through the long hours. This entire mural was done in about 7 days. So they really needed the energy. Wonderscope Motion Pictures helped create a video that really allowed us to get funding through a Kickstarter project. We had about 75 contributors through a Kickstarter project, so we thank everyone that supported that project as well. McNeese, Wallace, and Urich, and Shoemaker Williams, and the Lawyers for the Arts all helped us navigate the terrain that comes with public art and contracts. Germanicore, located here in Harrisburg, helped to contribute to this project to make it happen. And the city of Harrisburg, of course, helping us, being supportive and then helping us navigate the terrain as well. I want to thank my fellow Sprocketeers, co-founder Meg Davis, and Lissa Richards, who's helping us with all of our projects now too. And some wonderful volunteers that we had to make this project happen, namely Stephen Bruder, Landon Wise, who took some photographs, and Carly Zorzica, who helped make sure the artists were taken care of throughout the day. So I just want to thank everyone for their support of our projects and continue to look for more projects. In the 2 years, Sprocket's been able to create over 30 art projects, working with over 20 artists, engaging over 800 community members in those projects, because we think together we're stronger than we are alone. And we invite everyone to look forward to our Mural Festival in 2017, where we'll be creating 10 murals in 10 days and really helping to infuse the spirit of art, creativity, and change to the city of Harrisburg. I now would like to introduce the artist, Crystal Wagner. I have notes on her, but I'm just going to rattle off some things off the top of my head. This was her first mural project. We were excited to give her that opportunity, though she's recognized internationally for her screen printing and dimensional work. She has representation on the West Coast, on the East Coast, and internationally. She recently returned from a trip to Poland where she wrapped a building in her three-dimensional style, and that got a lot of national and international coverage. We're very lucky that she happened to be here working in Harrisburg for some time, and I think she'll talk about how the city embraced her, and I hope you embrace her and this artwork as much as we did. So thank you, and Crystal, if you'd like to say a few things.
All right. So I didn't expect to come down here and talk, of course, but I'll share my experience in being in Harrisburg. There's something really remarkable when you work so hard on making things, and that's what I am. I'm a maker, and I make things, and this mural was this opportunity to see the work grow in a new way. And not only was it that, I mean, it was a way to see Harrisburg and all of the people nationally who supported this project. When the Kickstarter was launched, there's this kind of like inspiring flavor related to the video, and a lot of that is that there is a thirst for new things and movement and growth, and that's what hopefully Wellspring does for this, and it's what I wanted in terms of the piece itself. I mean, realistically, if you look at the work, it's not representational or abstract, it's somewhere in between. It's something that we're familiar, or is both familiar and foreign at the same time, but hopefully what it does do is evoke a sense of wonder, and wonder is where the things that can move us forward come from. I travel all over the world and see a lot of remarkable things, but the one thing that I'm absolutely sure of in all of my experiences traveling is that art can be the catalyst for transformation, and it can offer people new ways to see things that they didn't know were possible. And those subjects are all things that people have touched on up here today, but I mean, I went to high school at Pine Grove, Pennsylvania, which is an hour north of here. So to be able to come back to Pennsylvania for a brief minute and give something back to a community where I did have an experience in the state of Pennsylvania has been really great. And to see Harrisburg doing what they're doing here is really inspiring. I mean, this is just the beginning for Harrisburg, and I'm excited to be a part of it. So thank you guys.
Thank you. 3, 2, 1! Hey!
Okay, grab oh, there we go. There we go.
One more time.
Yay! So we're inside startup, and automatically you realize, boy, this isn't your traditional workspace. There are conference rooms which you can sign up for and formal spaces, but there's also just a wide open, wonderful spot, sunny with these big glass renovated windows to sit and work. And we were just talking about the atmosphere here. What do you like about working here at Startup?
Well, currently I'm working from home or work remotely from my organization, and what I like about this place is that I can have a culture where I can talk to other creative people, other people who are working in different fields, and I can be inspired by them and just have conversation with them. And then the atmosphere, it's quiet, but I can go out, the streets are right outside, I can go run and get lunch. So I love the atmosphere, it's just charged with energy, but it's also a place of productivity. It's not distracting, there's not music playing constantly. And then I can go reserve a conference room if I have a private call that I need to take. So there are options that I can sort of accommodate the work that I need to do.
I think that's amazing. And we were sort of joking around a little bit, but you've got your own coffee bar, comfortable seating, and all these creative people to speak to. Are you sure you're able to get serious work done?
Oh yes. I can't really be as energetic in talking with people if I haven't started my productivity some other time during the day. So yeah, it's just a great time to break up long distances of phone calls through the screen or just emails. It's great to break that up with actual human interaction, looking around at a beautiful space that you're actually experiencing, not through a screen, and then go back to the work on the screen.
And I have to say, from an architectural standpoint, I think they've done wonders with the light and the large windows. And I was in this space before it was renovated, when it used to be an old lodge feel, and it was dark and sort of more private and clubby, and now it's just it's really conducive to sort of an open office exchange of ideas.
Yeah, but they've also kept some of the original. Like I was asking Adam about the floor, and it's beautiful and very unique, and it doesn't necessarily feel the same as everything else, but it feels unique and beautiful, and he said it's the original floor that was restored. So I love those pieces of architecture, and the outside with the columns, that blending of the old historic character with the new functional beauty I think it's really awesome.
They've done a great job of highlighting that, the floors, the exposed brick, the windows, the glass above the windows, all original. This is actually a very historic building for Harrisburg. It was built by a very important architect who designed a lot of the buildings in sort of early 20th century Harrisburg. But it has gone from being a private fraternal organization to a school, and now to a community workspace. And I think that sort of reflects Harrisburg's trajectory as well. Thanks for talking with us. Okay. So I'm joined here by Adam Porter, one of the co-founders here of Startup. And we were talking to some of the people that work here, and I understand there's sort of different levels of office space. So explain how it works.
Sure. Startup is all-inclusive like a gym, so you pay one monthly membership fee, and that gets you access to the whole space and all of our tools and toys, as we say. The first level is called the hot desk. That's more coffee shop style, drop in, come and go as you please. The next step above that is called the dedicated desk, and that's just what it sounds like. Yours and only yours. Hard data, hard power, so you can plug in. Really, if you're maybe a web developer or a photographer and you have monitors or something out, big setup, something like that. And then above that, we have private offices. So that's more just what it sounds like.
So even at the initial drop-in level, you're allowed to use the conference rooms. Yep. Tell us about the sort of perks of membership, if you will.
Sure. So besides the kind of mechanical stuff, internet, copier, coffee, all that jazz, we also do have 3 beautiful meeting rooms, 2 smaller ones that are more appropriate for maybe an initial client meeting or a conference call or something like this. And then we have a larger conference room that seats 16 in a boardroom style setting. It can reconfigure to a classroom style. And we'll actually be able to rent that out to community groups on an ad hoc basis. So even if you're not a member here, we'll eventually still be able to make that available to the community too. But really the main benefit of a place like this is the community, the interactions you would otherwise have that you wouldn't have otherwise had but for being here.
Right, we have spoken to some of your tenants here already, and they love the creative energy that comes from being able to brainstorm with others and the ability to, walk to lunch and to be so close to the Broad Street Market and everything else that being in Midtown allows. So how much does it cost?
Sure, so the hot desks go $175 a month, the dedicated desks are $275 a month, and then the private offices, when they're available, though they're presently all full, start at $575.
I mean, I think that's incredibly inexpensive. I mean, $175, and you get all the benefits of an office. I mean, isn't that just perfect for somebody who wants to take that next step from sort of moving out of the home office to a more professional environment, but doesn't want to have to go through the rigmarole of having to, go through a professional, single old-fashioned office?
Exactly. So co-working really is an alternative to those cumbersome traditional leases that you might have to sign for years. They're very expensive. You get many additional charges on top of just your rent.
Okay, so still a lot of spaces remaining. Do you want to tell us a little bit about some of the people that have taken advantage of Startup over the years and what they do, so that if somebody's watching this at home, they'll know if their business sort of fits with the vibe here?
Oh, for sure. It's really had a much wider appeal than we could have ever thought of. In the old space, we actually had a member who was a drywall company. So I suppose when your alternative is a truck bed, this is pretty appealing. We have a tax accountant, photographers, web developers, a couple of nonprofits, even Community First Fund, a nonprofit lender, now has a satellite office here. So when folks are getting started and they approach us for money, we can direct them Ken's way. Videographers, really creative professionals, folks that maybe work for a bigger company but remotely. So really quite a variety of professions.
That's really incredible, and congratulations on the growth. In just a few short years, you've quadrupled your space?
Double the footprint.
Yeah, okay, double the footprint.
Triple the capacity for sure.
Absolutely. Well done.